everybody. This is Santiago Madruga, Santi, and it's a pleasure for me to be with you and a couple of friends from Microsoft and Accenture. I am from Red Hat, and we are working closer and closer every day with Microsoft, that today in this conversation is represented by Lily Harris, who is heading all of the Azure business line in Microsoft. And then Cohen Selfoot, and I apologize if my pronunciation is not perfect, but Cohen is driving the Cloud First initiative in Accenture, which is so important to Red Hat and I believe to Microsoft and other partners that are helping get together to add more value to the end customers. And I think this is crucial because at the end, the customers have many challenges today in their business. They are under pressure to be more agile, more innovative, to be able to cope with change. And the cloud and the technology that goes with it should help. Sometimes it's more a challenge if you don't do it correctly, but it offers so much potential to help business evolve and to help society evolve into the next stage. So I'm really looking forward to the conversation with Cohen and Lily to learn more and discuss also the added value from our companies and potentially other companies that could join this ecosystem play. Cohen, can you tell us a little bit more about Cloud First and also the role of ecosystem as you see it in this initiative?
Absolutely, Santi. So happy to be here with all of you today and give me the opportunity, to talk about my passion, which is Cloud First. First of all, what is Cloud First within Accenture? In the end, it's all about driving value for our customers and educating them and guiding them in the journey on how can we drive value out of cloud-based technologies. Right? So it's not as much or alone about migrating workloads, but it's truly about what's my journey once I'm in the cloud. Now, why is an ecosystem important? I think the days that our answer was install SAP and the world runs on your instance, those are gone. Right? The world is going to be hybrid, right? For sure. We see the boundaries between applications, security, infrastructure, cloud native development, SaaS solutions, all of that is blurring. Right? So customers want platforms. They want things that drive value for them. What does that mean also from the ecosystem? We cannot do stuff anymore by ourselves. I think the fact that the three of us are having this kind of conversation for me is kind of really exemplary, because this is going to be the future, and the future is now, but it's only going to be amplifying more going forward. I'll give you an example, right? One of the things that I'm working on is like networks, 5G, edge, right? We have sovereign cloud, and it kind of seems like, what do these things have in common with each other? But it's all about utilizing, 5G and distributed architectures to build business models and change entirely the industries. And what you will see is, you need a cloud provider like Microsoft, where we can kind of host stuff on a public cloud or on a private cloud. We'll have to use new ecosystem partners like joint ventures, like between a Microsoft and a telco in the sovereign cloud space. We need Red Hat to kind of orchestrate like how all these kind of clouds work together and how it works together with the on-prem solutions. So the world is hybrid, and I think for us to create value for our customers, it's about bringing the competencies of everyone together in a holistic way. And this is really what I see, as the glue, and I think each of us is kind of playing a significant role in there. And my question back to you guys would be, how do you see it, from a Microsoft and from a Red Hat perspective, about what role do you play within that ecosystem?
So I will step in and take the challenge to answer that first and then move on to Microsoft and Lily. I knew somehow the question would boomerang back to me, so I was thinking about that. And it is, the role of Red Hat is to provide freedom of choice to the customers. How do we do that? Is working with people like you, like Accenture, Microsoft, and other partners. We provide the infrastructure IT, the technology, that is pretty generic and will work with everybody. We are open by definition. We were born as an open company, and freedom of choice to the customers, and the freedom to change decisions and to move workloads from different, from cloud to cloud, and work even, on a hybrid environment between their own internal cloud and different public clouds in a very dynamic way as it makes more sense to the business. I think that's what we provide. And around that, obviously, there are many technicalities, and we need to make sure that it is solid, that it is secure, that it is performing. But at the end of the day, that's our role in the ecosystem, to provide a layer of technology that enables people like Accenture, Microsoft, and other partners to come together on top of that platform to make sure that the customers are reaching their business outcome, right? And that's what we do. Lily, maybe from a Microsoft point of view, you also want to explain your side.
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you. It's a real pleasure to be on the call with you. We've been partnering with Red Hat over the last decade and with Accenture over the last sort of 20, 30 years. So we've had many great success in supporting our customers, and our partnership is what our customers expect from us. Customers want the ecosystem to collaborate together to help solve their business problems, and importantly, leverage all of this digital innovation that's available to them to grow their business. What we've also seen that the customer wants to build these solutions on their terms. I see each of our unique capabilities and skills playing an instrumental role in this. Accenture is a great business partner, advisory partner around unlocking the industry opportunity and really helping and nurturing that whole cloud journey. Red Hat as providing that open platform, an amazing community, really rich community, and really supporting the customer on this whole hybrid move from on-prem to cloud, and when on-prem is right for them, and a hybrid and edge solution is right for them versus public cloud. And Microsoft is here to really provide that digital innovation capability in the cloud and to unlock all of that digital business opportunity. In a global way at scale. One of the key trends that you've both referred to is this hybrid and multi-cloud trend that we see in the market. Most of our customers are adopting a hybrid environment. Data regulation is one of the reasons for this, that this is being adopted. And, for us, we understand that customers need to consider many aspects of data regulation, data privacy, and running the cloud on their terms. And so for us, hybrid and multi-cloud is an enabler for that, bringing the innovation of the cloud to the customers on their terms. And that's really, really critical. So, it's fantastic to have this partnership to really enable a lot of those solutions for our customers together.
It's really exciting to be together. In one of the preparation calls when we were getting together, somebody said that this was the power of three and even the power of many, as others would also be welcome. And, this is an open ecosystem, right? I think that is really what the customers are expecting from us, that we work together and bring the best of each company to help them in their business, right? But all of these are pretty high-level concepts. And, people are talking about the cloud and innovation, and we all talk about it, but I think Accenture is a step ahead with a place where customers can come and see it working in reality and prove it, right? And experience and really see that all of this can bring real business benefits, tangible, to them. And I think, the only thing that if I can have a constructive suggestion for Accenture is to come up with a better marketing term for this place that they've called the open source based cloud control plane showcase, right? I don't know if I said it right. It's a challenge for me to say all those words, but Coin, maybe you can explain to us more about it, and also, again, what is the advantage for the customers that in this place they can teamwork with Accenture, but also the partners that are coming together to help.
Yeah, super. Well, I agree with like the name in there, an open source kind of cloud control plane. It really doesn't testify, from a great effort on finding a catchy name. But I hope I can explain what it does, right, and make it a bit more important and bring it to life. So what we've done in Zurich, in one of our centers, right, we created a capability where we can showcase exactly, what you and Lily were talking about, because what our customers are telling us, like, guys, this is all theoretical, hybrid cloud, sovereign cloud, free flow of data in a secure way, right, which is a term I use a lot. It's all great, but you know what? Number one, we don't want to have a lock-in for the future. We actually don't know who to choose. Does it need to be dedicated? Does it need to be hybrid? Based on data sensitivity, do I put stuff in a public cloud? Do I put it in a sovereign cloud? Right? So help me out. Right? And don't give me theoretical concepts, but show it to me. So this is the only location in Accenture, like worldwide, in Zurich, where we really showcase all of this. So what exactly do we showcase? So we have like a Microsoft Azure cloud up and running. We have like an Azure OpenShift cloud up and running. We also have a Google cloud kind of running. And then we have Red Hat as the glue that stitches and manages it all together, that sits on top of it. Right? Now people could say, Koen, well, that's architecturally quite nice and quite amazing, but what do I buy with it? And here's the beauty. So we run on top of that, for example, a single SAP instance where the workloads are distributed. So part of it runs on the Azure cloud, part of it runs on the Azure OpenShift cloud. So it's like a distributed architecture, right? And what does it do? Well, it actually means that our customers will have the freedom of choice to move kind of loads from left to right. So it's kind of a continuum shift, which it kind of allows to do. And it avoids lock-in for the future, which is one of the key concerns. So I come from the application outsourcing space, and I know first generation application outsourcing, they said, well, Koen, great. I hand you the keys of the house and then you're going to be operating it for me 5 years, but I'm going to become dependent on you. And I don't want to then migrate out again and do something differently. So I think what we've built there, together with Red Hat and kind of with Microsoft, for me is quite unique, because we can show to customers like how easily it is to kind of shift over the different clouds, how to kind of use open source, because all is based on open source, right? For me, I started my career 26 years ago when the animals were still speaking, in ABAP programming. And everyone said to me, ABAP is like the world of the future, custom development is dead, that's old fashioned. But guess what? Open source and custom development are sexy again. It's in there. We need to use all the technologies. We need to glue them together. And you cannot do that with like point-to-point interfaces, which are just like a point in time. And then whenever we change one of the components, we're stuck for the future. So I think what a center allows is to kind of showcase how open source hits quite a lot of topics. Like number one, time to market. I don't need to write a functional spec anymore, a technical spec, program it, unit test it, and then deploy it in 3 environments. It's there. It's what open source is allowing me to do. And I have access to the world, not to the Koen Schelfats like myself, who happen to program. Right? It's modular. It allows the distributed approach running over the different clouds, utilizing Red Hat to orchestrate everything. I think it's also a way to leverage our investments. Right? Why would Microsoft build that on their own? Why do we do it on our own? Why does Red Hat do it on their own? Right? And it showcases also to kind of customers that it's not only about taking choices which are locking you in for the future. It offers a lot of flexibility. I think the whole open source thing that we show there as well shows customers that we're going to be building applications differently. Right? It will be distributed. It's not just on one SQL database and it runs there and then good luck for the next 20 years. And that's really what we want to do. It's like telling our customers, showing it jointly, bringing our clients in there and saying, guys, well, maybe we're sometimes a bit competitors, but in the end, in the future, it's an ecosystem that works together. And I liked what Lily and you were saying. I think each of us plays a role in this combined ecosystem. And that's what we want to showcase in Zurich together with you. And we invite everyone to bring his customers there and show them the power of 3 and beyond.
Colin, that's fantastic. And again, so exciting, I think, for Microsoft and us and whomever else wants to join to be with you on this strategic initiative. The one thing, though, that I would highlight, and I'm extremely proud, and I'm sure you too, is that, this is not for the future. As you said, the future is now. And in fact, I think Accenture and Microsoft and Red Hat have been working together in many accounts already. And, we as Red Hat, again, we provide the technology platform on which, the different members of the ecosystem can build and provide this freedom of choice and this agility to the customers. But we are not always the ones that better understand the needs of an industry or, the specific business value that the customer is expecting. And I think Accenture and Microsoft are also bringing great value into that play. And that, again, is something that we have already done. It's not like we are talking about future things that we don't know if we can do or not. We've proved that time and time again. And in some industries, even more than others. So I don't know. I mean, when we were preparing this call, we were discussing specific customers that I'm not sure that we have the permission to talk about them, but they were so interesting and so exciting. I don't know if you want to discuss about the specific industries or customers that we have done it already. Maybe we cannot name them, but for sure we have that experience that we can expose. And any one of you, Lily or Cohen, want to discuss that?
Sure, yeah. Alpega, actually based in Austria, are a transport freight organization operating in 80 countries. They're running a really complex transport management system. And with Microsoft Red Hat and together, we have been able to modernize their booking system, which has enabled them to really optimize freight transportation, creating a more sustainable solution for the industry. And that's a huge, just one of the examples where, I think edge and hybrid and the open platform was very compelling for the customer, and then really enabling them to leverage the innovation that we have in the cloud to modernize that application. Because modernization, when we think about it, is absolutely key for our customers versus migration. They want to get value out of the cloud. And having exposure to that innovation for a lot of these industry solutions so that they can capture all of the new sort of service-orientated innovation that's available to optimize, but also grow their business. So that's probably one of the examples I would share. Santi?
I think on my end, if I just look at our Europe 25 strategy, which we just refreshed within Accenture, there's 3 industries that we kind of see moving faster in cloud land than others. Right? One is telco, the other one is banking and insurance, and the third one is consumer goods and retail. Right? I see you guys nodding, so probably not a surprise, right? You would be surprised if I said mining, but these are really the industries that we see that are moving fastest. We also see kind of a trend, for example, in retail. We really want to double down on what we call digital commerce, which was fueled by kind of COVID, but it's about taking e-commerce to the next level, about web crawling, looking at sentiment analysis, coupling kind of websites, with like, say, kind of a Strava to kind of make recommendations on what are your best running shoes, etc., etc. So this whole platform business, like in retail, if you look at this, there's probably 20 technologies that you need to build such a thing. Right? And so this is not going to be, I choose one ERP system and everything is being run in there with an internet sales shop and a web shop. Right? But it's like different products. It has like, it could have Snowflake in there or Databricks in there. It has like Microsoft components, Google components, whatever it is. but it needs to be offered as one integrated platform to a customer. So I think in retail and consumer goods, for me, this collaboration amongst the three of us and other parties is just a key to make it happen. There are no other options. So we're doing that at clients right now, but this is really something that we want to focus on. The other one in banking for me is like mainframe cloudification is a huge topic. Like for us, getting rid of the technical debt. But I don't think a bank is going to be saying, well, give us 15 years to get rid of the mainframe, and we're just going to put it on one architecture. Right? I think that's what they just want to get rid of. In the end, it's that lock-in. So they're like for banking, the power of three in here, like none of us can do that by themselves in there. And these are the discussions we're having kind of today. So just two industries where I believe this is very, very kind of prominent at the moment.
I have to say, the more I work, and I think in Red Hat we work every day more and more with partners, and particularly with Accenture and Microsoft, the more we enjoy it. And I speak for myself, it is a pleasure working with people like you, but I see it in the customers, in our teams, working across our big organizations. The quality of the people is fantastic. And I think at the end, the three organizations in this call and other partners that are working in the same spirit, we get together so well because we put the customer at the center. And I think, we are doing this, we like each other, we enjoy working with each other, but at the end, it brings value to the end customer, which is the most important thing. And this is not only when we are selling. I think we have to collaborate when we are selling, but even more important is, after selling, making sure that we walk the journey with the customer to make it work for them and evolve it over years to come. These decisions are for years, if not decades, to help the customers get the business value out of their investments and continue to change and be agile and innovate. And that is a journey. That's why freedom is so important, because maybe the decisions you take today are valid today, but who knows about tomorrow? And that power of three or power of many in an open ecosystem where we are helping the customers, keeping their best interest in the center, is really a fantastic and very exciting journey. Now, obviously, it cannot be just nice calls and talks and conversations and relationships, which I think are part of life, and it's great that we are team working well. But what can we do more specifically, and what will be the call to action for the people in our companies and even for the customers to get this moving into the next step, into the next reality? What do you think? What could we ask of our teams and even of the customers so that we can make progress?
I think we need to remain very curious with our customers. To add to that, I think, understanding where the customer's coming from and their point of view, what's stopping them maybe, taking the step to modernize, let's say, the example of, platforms like their mainframe platforms. What challenges do they see? And really addressing those up front, like data regulation, if that comes up. And really presenting, I think what we're seeing is, in the last number of years, a huge amount of sort of push around public cloud first. But now what we're seeing is this sort of decentralization as well, and recognition that, making sure that we're actually talking to the customer that they can run the cloud on their terms is really important. So I would say definitely collaborate, be curious with your customers and ask them the questions around what challenges and what ambitions they have for their business, and then take the conversation from there and really, leverage the partnership, because to your point, we all bring something to this. And I think that if we do this collaboratively, the customers are just going to really love that, of all of us coming together, because it makes it much easier for our customers if we're working together. And we may not make our lives easier, but it makes it easier for the customer to make a decision.
If I have the privilege to give a closing remark for our audience, I would build on what Lily was just saying, and I think prior Cohen. I think we together can bring a competitive advantage to our customers. And everything that we are discussing about sounds like it is easy, and we are here talking about it in a very relaxed way. In fact, it has been a journey for our companies to develop the level of trust, the level of understanding, the level of collaboration that now our full organizations can leverage for the benefit of the end customers to commit to solve their problems, focus on the customer, and not only at the point of sale, but for years to come as the customers will want to evolve their solutions, right? In that no lock-in environment where the customer keeps their freedom of choice in their business. And the three of us share those values and that intent and that level of trust. And we are so complementary in what we provide to this value to the customer. And we are even very open for other companies to join this open ecosystem. This, to the people in our organizations and at the end to the customers, is really a massive opportunity to leverage this ecosystem play that is not Accenture or Microsoft or Red Hat, but is the three of us coming together, in a true sense of the word, right? And with this, I think it's a unique opportunity. I think alone, we've never had any one of us the opportunity that we have now together. And this is for our people to just bring to the customers and engage with the customers, discuss it, and see how can we help, starting with that understanding of the problems of the customer, start there, and then let's see how we can help. And we have everything, the open cloud, what's the name? Open cloud control plane environment. I think it was something very similar to that people can use, right, to test ideas and to experiment and to see the reality of how we could bring it. We have the experience, we've done it before in customers, in industries. I think we are in a really unique position in our industry to together add value to the market. So thank you very much. That was so interesting, and I'm really looking forward to doing many, many good things together with you and our organizations for the benefit of the customers. Thank you very much.